A gigantic, unidentified warship suddenly enters human space without warning. The alien vessel destroys several patrol fleets in minutes and sends a terrifying message across the galaxy. Humanity will surrender within one planetary cycle, or Earth will burn. The transmission spread across thousands of worlds in seconds. Trade stations shut down. Military fleets retreated. Entire alien civilizations panicked, because everyone recognized the symbol glowing on the warship's hull. The Kharon Dominion. A nightmare from ancient galactic history. A species so brutal that entire star systems vanished after resisting them. Most believed the Kharon had gone extinct thousands of years ago. They were wrong. Very wrong. Near the edge of human territory, the patrol cruiser Aegis Dawn drifted silently through deep space. Captain Elias Trent stared at the stars from the bridge. "Anything unusual?" he asked. A young officer shook her head. "Negative, Captain. Long-range scans are clear." Then every alarm on board exploded at once. "Warning, gravitational distortion detected." The stars ahead twisted unnaturally. Space itself bent inward like reality was tearing apart. Crew members froze in fear as a massive black shape slowly emerged from hyperspace. At first, nobody understood what they were seeing. The object was enormous, larger than entire cities. Dark metallic armor covered its triangular body, while crimson lights pulsed across its surface like veins glowing beneath skin. The bridge fell silent. One officer whispered, "Dear God." The warship moved without sound, without engine trails, without heat signatures. It simply appeared, and every instinct in Captain Trent's body screamed danger. "Hail the vessel," he ordered. No response. "Activate combat alert." Before the crew could react, the unknown ship fired. A pulse of invisible energy crossed space instantly. The Aegis Dawn split in half. No explosion, no warning, just destruction. The last transmission sent toward Earth contained only 6 words. "Unknown vessel entering human territory." Then silence. Earth Command received the distress signal 17 minutes later. At first, officials believed it was a malfunction. Then another fleet vanished. 7 destroyers, 2 carriers, 3,000 human personnel, destroyed in less than 4 minutes. This time, surveillance drones captured the battle. Inside Earth Command, military officers watched the footage in complete silence. The human fleet opened fire first. Railguns, missiles, plasma batteries. Nothing worked. The black warship moved through the attacks like a god walking through rain. Entire cruisers exploded before locking onto targets. Gravity waves ripped ships apart from the inside. Escape pods vaporized instantly. One human admiral screamed over comms, "All ships retreat. Retreat now." Too late. The stars turned white. Then the fleet disappeared. Silence filled the command center. No one moved. Because humanity finally understood something terrifying. This wasn't a normal enemy. This thing had entered human space to hunt. 3 hours later, emergency meetings erupted across the Galactic Senate. Alien ambassadors shouted over one another in fear. "The Kharon have returned. This is impossible. If humanity angers them, we are all doomed." At the center platform stood Earth's ambassador, Elaine Ward. Calm, silent, watching. Then the Senate chamber lights dimmed. A giant hologram appeared above the assembly. The unknown warship. Its crimson lights glowed like burning eyes. Then a deep mechanical voice echoed through the chamber. "Species designation, human. Your expansion violates Kharon authority. You will surrender all military forces within one planetary cycle. Resistance will result in planetary cleansing." Several senators collapsed in fear. Others begged humanity to surrender immediately. But Ambassador Ward never moved. Instead, she asked one question. "What happened to the civilian colonies you attacked?" The chamber became silent. The alien voice answered coldly. "They resisted." Elaine's eyes darkened. "Then humanity will resist too." Gasps spread across the Senate. One alien ambassador shouted, "You can't fight them. Elaine finally looked toward the terrified crowd. "We're not trapped in space with the Kharon." Her voice became ice cold. "They're trapped here with us." Transmission ended. Panic spread across Earth. Cities prepared for evacuation. Orbital defenses powered online. Families watched emergency broadcasts in fear. But hidden beneath the solar system, something else awakened. Deep inside the asteroid belts near Jupiter, ancient military stations powered online for the first time in decades. Gigantic doors slowly opened, and behind them, warships emerged from darkness. Thousands of them. Humanity had been lying to the galaxy. For over a century, Earth pretended to be weak. Their fleets looked outdated. Their colonies appeared divided. Their weapons seemed primitive. It was all intentional. Because humanity learned long ago that if the galaxy ever discovered humanity's real military strength, every species would unite against them. So humans hid everything. Secret fleets, experimental weapons, AI-controlled battle stations, planetary defense systems buried beneath moons. And now all of it was waking up. Inside Lunar Command Station Olympus, Admiral Sophia Kane studied footage of the alien warship carefully. Again and again she replayed the battle. Then she froze the image. "There," she whispered. An officer frowned. "What is it?" Sophia zoomed closer. Tiny fractures covered part of the Kharon armor. Damage. Old damage. Someone had fought this monster before. And survived. Far above Earth, the gigantic Kharon warship entered orbit. Its massive shadow covered entire oceans. Billions watched from below as crimson lights illuminated the night sky. Then every screen on Earth activated at once. The alien commander appeared. Tall, armored, inhuman. His glowing eyes stared directly into humanity's cameras. "I am Supreme Commander Vakar of the Kharon Dominion. You were offered surrender. You chose defiance." Behind him, enormous weapons began charging with blood-red energy. Entire continents watched in horror. Vakar's voice thundered across Earth. "Now the galaxy will witness the extinction of humanity." People screamed. Military fleets scrambled. World leaders prepared for the end. But deep beneath the moon, something ancient awakened. A colossal hidden structure powered online after 73 years of silence. Massive engines ignited beneath layers of rock and steel. Then a cold AI voice echoed through the darkness. "Titan fleet activated." Far out in the shadows of space, thousands of hidden human warships began moving toward Earth. And for the first time, the Kharon warship stopped advancing. The moon cracked open, not from destruction, but from within. Across Earth's night sky, billions watched in shock as enormous metallic structures emerged from beneath the lunar surface. Ancient hangar doors the size of continents slowly separated while glowing blue lights illuminated the darkness of space. Then the first Titan-class warship rose from the moon. Massive, black, covered in armored plates thicker than city blocks. One ship became 10. 10 became hundreds. Then thousands. The hidden fleet of humanity finally revealed itself. Inside Earth Command, terrified alien observers stared at the tactical displays in disbelief. One senator whispered, How long were humans hiding this?" No one answered. Because nobody knew. Far above Earth, Supreme Commander Vakar watched the human fleet emerge. For the first time in centuries, the Kharon commander stopped smiling. Thousands of ships surrounded the planet in organized formations. Some were larger than the Kharon vessel itself. Others emitted strange energy readings that even Kharon scanners couldn't identify. A younger Kharon officer stepped forward nervously. "Commander, human fleet numbers exceed projections by 4,000%. Vakar's glowing eyes narrowed. "Impossible." Another officer spoke. "We are also detecting dormant weapons platforms hidden inside planetary moons, asteroid belts, and civilian stations." The bridge became silent. Then the tactical AI delivered another report. "Warning. Human military infrastructure indicates preparation for large-scale extinction warfare." Several Kharon officers exchanged uneasy looks. That phrase had not appeared in Kharon records for over 2,000 years. Extinction warfare. Only species willing to destroy themselves used such tactics. Earth remained silent. No surrender. No negotiations. No threats. Only movement. Human fleets continued surrounding the Kharon warship from every direction. Then Admiral Sophia Kane appeared across every military channel in the solar system. Her voice was calm, cold. To all human defense forces, this is your final operational command. Protect Earth. Thousands of ships answered instantly. For Earth, the stars exploded into motion. Human destroyers accelerated toward the Kharon vessel while orbital cannons hidden near Mars unleashed their first barrage. Hundreds of plasma rounds crossed space like artificial suns. The Kharon responded immediately. Crimson gravity waves erupted from the alien ship, tearing entire squadrons apart in seconds. Human cruisers twisted into molten wreckage before exploding into fire. Thousands died instantly, but the human fleet didn't retreat. They kept coming, wave after wave. The Kharon commander frowned. Why are they sacrificing themselves? No alien officer answered. Because humans were doing something strange. Every attack revealed more information. Every destroyed fleet transmitted tactical data back to Earth. Weapon frequencies, shield behavior, energy fluctuations. The humans weren't trying to win yet. They were learning. And that realization began terrifying the Kharon. Deep beneath Jupiter's storms, a hidden station activated. Emergency lights illuminated an ancient shipyard buried inside the gas giant's atmosphere. Inside waited humanity's greatest secret, the Dreadnought Leviathan, the largest warship ever created by mankind, nearly 30 kilometers long, built in total secrecy after the solar civil wars. Its weapons were considered too dangerous even for humans to use. And now its reactor awakened. Inside the command chamber, old Admiral Novak slowly entered. The crew stood silently as the elderly commander sat in the central throne-like chair. One officer looked nervous. "Sir, are we really deploying the Leviathan?" Novak stared at the massive tactical display. Kharon ships don't fear ordinary weapons. His scarred face hardened. So we remind them why humanity hid these. The gigantic ship slowly began rising through Jupiter's storms. And for the first time in decades, the stars trembled. Deep beneath Jupiter's storms, a hidden station activated. Emergency lights illuminated an ancient shipyard buried inside the gas giant's atmosphere. Inside waited humanity's greatest secret, the Dreadnought Leviathan, the largest warship ever created by mankind, nearly 30 kilometers long, built in total secrecy after the solar civil wars. Its weapons were considered too dangerous even for humans to use. And now its reactor awakened. Inside the command chamber, old Admiral Novak slowly entered. The crew stood silently as the elderly commander sat in the central throne-like chair. One officer looked nervous. "Sir, are we really deploying the Leviathan?" Novak stared at the massive tactical display. Kharon ships don't fear ordinary weapons. His scarred face hardened. So we remind them why humanity hid these. The gigantic ship slowly began rising through Jupiter's storms. And for the first time in decades, the stars trembled. Across the galaxy, billions watched the battle live. Some expected humanity to surrender. Others expected Earth to burn. Instead, they witnessed something impossible. Humans fighting without fear. Even after entire fleets vanished. Even after cities prepared for orbital bombardment. Even while death hovered above their world. Humanity refused to kneel. Inside the Galactic Senate, alien ambassadors watched in horror as casualty numbers climbed into the millions. One senator whispered, "They should have surrendered." But another shook his head slowly. "No." The old aliens stared at the battlefield feeds. "They're angry." Suddenly, alarms erupted throughout the Senate. A new object had entered the solar system. The holographic map zoomed outward, and everyone froze. A gigantic human dreadnought emerged near Jupiter. Its energy signature dwarfed entire fleets. Even the Kharon ship appeared small beside it. Words slowly appeared across every galactic network. Unregistered human superweapon detected. Then another message followed. Threat level, extinction class. Panic spread instantly. For the first time since entering human space, Supreme Commander Vakar felt uncertainty. The human dreadnought slowly advanced through space like a moving continent. Strange blue energy crackled around its armor, while enormous weapons rotated toward the Kharon vessel. One officer spoke carefully. "Commander, scans suggest the vessel's reactor is unstable," meaning it was designed for maximum destructive output, not survival. Vakar understood immediately. The humans built a weapon they never intended to survive using. That disturbed him more than anything else, because only one kind of species created such machines. A species preparing for the end of everything. Then the human transmission arrived. Admiral Novak appeared on every screen aboard the Kharon warship. Old, scarred, unshaken. "You attacked human civilians." His voice was calm enough to be terrifying. "You threatened Earth." Behind him, the massive Leviathan continued charging weapons capable of shattering moons. Then Novak leaned closer to the screen. "And now," he said quietly, "you finally understand why the galaxy fears monsters." His eyes hardened. But monsters are nothing compared to angry humans. Transmission ended. The Leviathan's main cannon activated. Across the solar system, stars disappeared behind its light. And for the very first time, the Kharon warship began retreating. For the first time in thousands of years, the Kharon warship retreated. Across the galaxy, billions watched in disbelief as the massive alien vessel slowly pulled away from Earth. Crimson engines burned across the darkness while human fleets pursued from every direction. Inside the Kharon command chamber, panic spread rapidly. Human ships are surrounding us. Multiple weapons locks detected. Their dreadnought is still charging. Supreme Commander Vakar remained frozen as the gigantic human superweapon Leviathan advanced behind them like death itself. No species had ever forced the Kharon to retreat. Not once. Until humanity. Then the stars disappeared. Entire regions of space suddenly went dark as hidden human stations activated across the solar system. Vakar's eyes widened. Impossible. Thousands of invisible satellites uncloaked at once. Humanity had prepared this battlefield long before the Kharon arrived. Gravity mines activated. Quantum jammers ignited. Orbital cannons emerged from moons and asteroids. The Kharon warship slowed instantly, then stopped. Trapped. A human voice echoed across every communication channel. "Admiral Sophia Kane, you came here believing humanity was weak. You saw our diplomacy and mistook it for fear." The Leviathan moved into firing range behind the immobilized alien ship. Human fleets surrounded the Kharon from every side. No escape remained. Vakar roared in fury. "All weapons fire." The Kharon warship unleashed everything. Crimson beams tore through human fleets. Entire squadrons vanished in white explosions. Warships burned across the stars. But the humans kept advancing. Again, and again, and again. Damaged ships rammed directly into Kharon shields. Human pilots sacrificed themselves to open weaknesses in the armor. Boarding teams crashed through enemy hulls and suicide assaults. The galaxy watched in horror as humanity fought like a species that would rather die than surrender. Then Admiral Novak gave the final order. "Fire the Leviathan cannon." Silence filled space. The massive human dreadnought glowed brighter than a star itself. Energy flooded through its ancient systems while alarms screamed across every ship nearby. Even human vessels began retreating from the blast radius. Then the cannon fired. A beam of blue-white light crossed the solar system. The Kharon shields shattered instantly. Armor melted. Weapons exploded. The gigantic alien warship split apart from the center. For one final moment, the invincible vessel drifted silently through space. Then it exploded. The shockwave illuminated Earth like a second sun. Silence spread across the galaxy. The Kharon were gone. Humanity had survived. But the victory came at a terrible cost. Millions of humans were dead. Entire fleets had been destroyed. The stars themselves still burned from the battle. Yet Earth still stood. Days later, a final transmission was broadcast across every known world. President Marcus Hale appeared on screen beside the shattered remains of the Kharon warship floating behind him. His voice was calm, cold. You believed humanity was weak because we chose peace. You believed our silence meant fear. He looked directly into the camera. You were wrong. Behind him, thousands of human warships filled the stars. Then came the final words that echoed through galactic history forever. Let this wreckage remain where it drifts. So every civilization that enters human space remembers what happened here. The transmission ended. And from that day forward, no alien empire ever threatened Earth again. Because the galaxy finally understood the truth. Humans were not the weakest species in the stars. Humanity was the species that chose restraint. And when that restraint finally broke, even monsters learned fear.